How's it going, guys? Welcome to another video on this lovely little channel of mine. And before I actually, or on some previous videos, we actually took this Toshiba Canvio Advance hard drive and I unboxed it. I talked about the review and how the speeds were and stuff like that. And I said on that video, someone wants me to take this apart, tear it down. I would. And so you requested, and here we are. So taking a look at this, of course, we talked about this earlier, but you know, the cable is the standard sort of USB 3.0 cable with the with the sort of standard micro USB plus the extra pins for USB 3.0 cast to the side. This is very common before we started using USB Type-C for everything. So this is a bit older, obviously. The real story here is whether or not we can just get it apart. And I think there's actually a little bit of a groove on the back here. Might be able to. It's worth noting that probably once I do this, this hard drive case at least will be destroyed. So just so, if in fact you want to do this on your own, I assume no responsibility for what you break. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get a little bit saucy with this. I'm going to use a screwdriver. If you have something like a tiny, thin metal pry tool, iFixit sells them. Other people sell them. That would probably be more ideal for this. But also, if you have tiny hands, you might be able to pull this off without doing this and ruining things. But we're going to see. Looks like I'm getting a little bit of prise on this corner already. We'll see if we can get it in there without stabbing my hand with a screwdriver, which is always really important. I'm going to shorten this up a little bit. All right. So let's see here. Oh. The main thing that I was wanting to figure out, that I was curious about, is whether Toshiba is still OEM labeling. Oh yeah, there we go. Got a pop. Whether Toshiba is still OEM labeling their drives, or whether they decided to just get a Western Digital or something like that for this. We are about to find out. Oh yeah, and this case is actually pretty. Under the surface, it seems like it's pretty cheap plastic, so we're probably going to destroy it in the process here. Oh, we got a nice pop. It's always a good sign. There we go. Okay. That should be enough to be able to just pop it open. Got to work on that hand strength, yo. Okay. This one. There we go. Yeah, and I'll show you what I mean about these in a minute, but generally speaking, actually I might be able to stitch this thing back together when I'm done. It's gonna look like crap, but that's okay. Not all that usually concerned with aesthetics. There we go. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you can see these. These little loops usually break. They just snap straight out. Most companies don't really think about resurfacing these at all. So usually these loops break, but these loops are actually pretty good. I think I might have mangled one that broke. The rest of them are actually intact, so I should be able to put this back. So anyway, this is just the back cover. We can see that there's just a drive sort of jammed in there. Let's see if we can get it to slide out. Yeah, and yes, it is a Toshiba disk drive, and oh wow. Well, that's super proprietary. Look at that, guys. Let's see. This this is entirely integrated. So the drive actually just has a micro USB 3.0 port. There is no there's no SATA. Doesn't look like. No. Now that's straight wired to the board on the bottom. So this is a pretty proprietary thing. This is the model number is an MQ04UBF100, And yeah, it's just straight up a micro USB 3.0. That's the only plug you get. There's no adapter. There's no nothing. And we can see that there's a little light right there. It's probably hard to see. There's a little LED right there that corresponds with a little plastic light tube that lights up your activity light. So, and that's about really it here. It just takes standard 5 volts, draws 1 amp according to this. But that's a very, very interesting revelation there, because really you can't, that's the important thing to understand about these. You can't do what a lot of people like me do, which is buy a bunch of external hard drives on sale and skin them and use the SATA drives, because this is a micro USB 3.0 port. So this is basically just, this drive can't really be used outside of specifically external hard drive use, to be honest. So that's very interesting. Anyway, so this video has been super short, and if you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a big teardown video on this one. This was a pretty straightforward, and actually, look at that, like new. Pretty straightforward video. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know.